In this brief demonstration, we'll examine how FrameMaker 10 has developed superior capabilities to import annotations and comments from PDF files that have been sent out for review. After doing this, we'll compare this with the much more manual and error-prone process that's required with FrameMaker 7. So let's start with a quick look at FrameMaker 10. We have open a typical FrameMaker document that requires some review by perhaps more than one person. We're currently in a workspace for authoring, and because I'm getting ready to do PDF review, I'm actually going to change this to the review workspace, which gives me a different set of icons displayed horizontally across the top of the screen. A few moments from now you'll see how we will use those. Our first step would be to actually create the PDF file for review, and since I'm working with FrameMaker and TechCom Suite, I can simply do this in one step rather than several, and just save as review PDF. This particular case I want to enable comment in Reader. That would be Acrobat Reader or Free Acrobat Reader. And so what I would do now is actually go ahead and choose where I want this to be saved. I may want to have a special folder and that I'm going to save the file in. And then I would go and simply save the file. Further choices are prompted, and I would finally end up with a PDF file. For sake of time, I'm going to jump straight forward to the actual PDF file that already has the comments and annotations made in them. Comments were made in the following fashion. With the column of comment and annotation tools over here on the right hand side, if I were to delete some text, for instance, I can simply select a word and use the deletion tool. In this particular case, I'm going to undo that. And this has all of the changes that I desire in the document. These comments and changes may have been made by several people, because it's possible to place the PDF file in something like Acrobat, a SharePoint server, which would be somewhat like working in a cloud. These files can also be emailed out individually to people who do not have access to that type of tool. Once I've got the PDF file open with all the comments and annotations in them, and you'll see if I double click, here's some words that need to be inserted, I'm going to go back to FrameMaker, and I can in one simple step, bring all of the comments in simply by saying that I'd like to import all of my PDF comments. Now you must have the PDF file open, and it's also important that you have not modified your source document since these PDF files were made. I'm going to say that yes, I do indeed want to bring in all of the changes. As I do this, I get a quick flash of something that's basically like a report card telling me how many insertions or replacements there are. And the insertions and deletions actually come in looking very much like track changes if I had actually been editing text with that feature. Now that I've done this, I can actually use the toolbar up here in my review workspace, and the first thing I'd like to do is to actually search for the first change. And in this particular case, I've decided that I don't want to accept this. I'm going to actually reject it. I'm going to look for the next one. Significant. I would like to accept this one, so I will actually go ahead and accept that edit, and so on and so forth. I can just move from one to another and either accept or reject. Another thing is you do have the ability to universally accept or reject all of them. And before I do that, you also have the ability to preview what the final version would look like if you do accept all the changes, and you can also remember what the original version looked like. Going back here to my preview turned off, I'm going to decide that I would like to accept all of the remaining changes, which I can do in one simple click. And as I do this, you'll see that my changes have indeed been made, and basically everything that I have tried to insert or whatever does match my PDF original. So it's just that simple. In one easy step, everything is inserted automatically with no copy and with no paste. In a moment, we'll contrast this with FrameMaker 7. As you just saw in the first portion of our presentation, it's extremely easy to create a PDF file that's enabled for comment review in Free Acrobat Reader if you're using FrameMaker in concert with TechCom Suite. I should mention that if you're using FrameMaker by itself, it is possible with some additional steps and a license of full Acrobat to actually create the same type of file. It just takes longer. Once that PDF file is created, it can be annotated by multiple reviewers. This can be done either in a cloud like acrobat.com, or multiple PDF files can be distributed and done on a desktop by individual people. Either way, whether there's one PDF file shared by many or multiple PDF files, all of those comments and annotations in one step can be imported directly into FrameMaker. As you saw, the comments and annotations come directly in place in FrameMaker, and they actually look like tracked changes, insertions and deletions. And you're able to use the track change feature to locate each comment or annotation, and you can individually accept or reject each one, or you can universally accept or reject all of them. This of course eliminates a tremendous amount of errors because the insertion point is located automatically and also formatting is maintained. Now let's take a brief look at how we would try to achieve the same results with PDF Review, bringing in comments with FrameMaker 7 instead of FrameMaker 10. You'll soon see that it is much more of a manual process, and also it is much more prone to error and mistake, as there are two different ways to paste the annotations in. I think you'll quickly conclude that FrameMaker 10 not only makes the process much more automatic, but practically foolproof as well. Now we are working with FrameMaker 7, so we can see a quick contrast in how somebody would work with comments or annotations to send from PDF if they were working with FrameMaker 7 instead of FrameMaker 10. We're actually going to go ahead and use that same PDF file just so we can see how many additional steps would be to say without some of the automatic features that we had in FrameMaker 10. FrameMaker 7 does not have any equivalent to automatic import of annotations. I'm going to go ahead and close the annotation bar just so it's a little bit easier to see. And here you can see that there's two places where I need to insert some text. The word significant needs to be inserted in front of orientation, and greater needs to be inserted in front of San Jose. We'll just do two simple changes. So in order to bring this in, I must open up the comment in Acrobat or Acrobat Reader, copy the text, and I have to carefully locate the same insertion point within FrameMaker, and then I need to do edit paste. Now the problem is obvious. This is the straight paste is just brought in formatting that we don't want from the PDF file. So I would go ahead and simply do an edit undo, and I would bring the text in a different way. I would have to do paste special text, and then that's correct. Going back to our next change, as you can see it's taking a little bit longer. Here we've got the word greater. We're going to make a copy of that, and I'm going to go ahead and insert that in front of San Jose as well. So in this case I'm going to go edit, paste special, text, OK. And to give you an idea of what's involved here, we'll see how many comments we have. I want to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times in order just to achieve the changes that we did automatically with FrameMaker 10. So clearly FrameMaker 7 is far more time consuming when it comes to applying changes from PDF files, because one must very carefully select the text the right way, and they must be extremely careful in where they insert the text within FrameMaker to match the changes. As you can see in this final slide, FrameMaker 7 has several limitations. First of all, the PDF file must be open side by side with FrameMaker, and the user must carefully open up each annotation one at a time, carefully select the text, find the insertion point in FrameMaker, and then there are two ways to paste the text, and they must very carefully select the correct way in order to avoid an error. In my own experience, I've had about an 85% success rate at doing it correctly the first time. So the automatic method you saw earlier in FrameMaker 10 is clearly superior. We hope this demonstration gives you one more good reason to upgrade from FrameMaker 7.